In exploring the notion of a programmed existence, we delve into a realm where the boundaries between fate and human agency blur in a digitally dominant society. At its core, programmed existence refers to the idea that our lives and decisions are profoundly influenced, if not outright dictated, by algorithms, code, and the discrete yet omnipresent software systems that permeate our daily activities. In the context of our overarching theme, destiny or developer decisions, fates in a programmed existence, this concept takes center stage by challenging the classical perception of free will. Are we architects of our destiny, or are we subtly shepherded by lines of code crafted by unseen developers? This topic is vital because it prompts a re-evaluation of autonomy in the age of technology. In countless ways, our interactions, from social media feeds tailored to our browsing habits to GPS systems determining our routes, are subtly guided by algorithmic decisions. For instance, consider the Instagram or Facebook algorithms that decide what content appears on our feeds. These algorithms act as frameworks, subtly shaping our worldview by emphasizing certain stories and voices over others. Another real-world application is the reliance on recommendation algorithms by platforms like Netflix or Spotify, which significantly influence our entertainment choices by predicting our preferences with uncanny accuracy. Proponents argue that these systems offer unparalleled convenience and personalization, enriching our digital experience. By learning from our behaviors, they provide curated content that saves time and enhances satisfaction. However, this idea is not without controversy. Critics warn of the echo chamber effect, where individuals are exposed only to ideas aligning with their own, stifling diversity of thought and fostering polarization. Additionally, privacy concerns arise as personal data becomes the currency in these programmed interactions, raising ethical questions about consent and data security. The concept of programmed existence is intrinsically linked to the broader narrative of digital determinism versus human free will. It compels us to question the extent of control we truly wield in a world increasingly governed by code. This inquiry intersects with discussions on digital responsibility, the ethics of artificial intelligence, and the role of developers as modern-day oracles shaping societal norms and behaviors. Understanding the dynamics of a programmed existence thus serves as a cornerstone in navigating and negotiating our place in this technologically driven landscape, urging us to reconsider the balance between convenience and conscientious autonomy. In exploring the heading, Destiny or Developer Decisions, Fates in a Programmed Existence, we delve into the contrast between predetermined paths and the role of human agency in digital environments. This concept investigates whether outcomes in digital realms, like video games and AI-driven systems, are a product of inherent design or shaped by developers' intentional choices. The significance here lies in understanding how much control creators hold over the experiences and destinies of digital entities and systems, mirroring the broader philosophical debate on fate versus free will. A classic example is seen within the realm of video gaming, where players often confront pre-scripted storylines and endings, predetermined by developers, versus sandbox-style games like Minecraft, which allow for user autonomy and creativity without a predefined narrative. Similarly, consider AI and machine learning algorithms. Their outcomes could be perceived as preordained by developers' initial programming, yet they evolve through data processing and learning, showcasing a symbiotic relationship between programmed intent and emergent behaviors. Proponents argue that developer decisions, while initially restrictive, are essential as they provide structure and narrative coherence, thus enhancing user engagement and experience. For instance, streamlined game plots can make storytelling more compelling and cohesive. Alternatively, critics challenge this notion by advocating for greater user agency, suggesting that rigid structures can stifle creativity or limit the potential of immersive technologies. The controversy intensifies with ethical considerations, such as the biases that might be inadvertently coded into AI systems, steering outcomes in ways that reflect the developer's subjective worldviews. The interplay between destiny and developer-driven outcomes feeds into larger questions of responsibility and accountability. Developers have the power to shape digital realities, which resonates with broader societal dynamics where creators influence public opinion and behavior. This ties back to our main topic by highlighting the necessity for ethical development practices and transparency in digital innovation. Ultimately, this discussion mirrors the broader philosophical inquiries regarding fate and freedom, urging us to contemplate how technology reflects or diverges from natural human experiences of agency and preordination. Moreover, it underscores the importance of mindful design, where balancing structural integrity with open-ended possibilities fosters enriched interactions between humans and technology. In the context of destiny or developer decisions, fates in a programmed existence, the concept of the role of developers in shaping digital destinies explores how software developers and programmers act as modern architects of digital environments. They craft the frameworks and systems that dictate how people interact with technology, effectively influencing individuals' choices and behaviors within these digital realms. This component is significant as it places developers in a pivotal position where their decisions, both technical and ethical, can profoundly affect users' lives, dictating possibilities and limitations. Take, for instance, social media platforms. Developers decide the algorithms that determine which content users see. These algorithms can shape public opinion, impact mental health, and even influence election outcomes by prioritizing certain types of content and engagement. Another example is video game design, where developers create immersive worlds that dictate player actions and experiences. Games like The Sims or World of Warcraft offer users a sandbox of virtual possibilities, decisions that remain within the boundaries set by developers. Support for the idea of developers as shapers of destiny comes from the growing recognition of their power and responsibility. Industry leaders such as Tim Berners-Lee, the inventor of the World Wide Web, advocate for more ethical control and transparency in how technology affects human behavior. Similarly, many technologists have called for ethical guidelines in artificial intelligence development, highlighting the profound impact of programming decisions on society. However, the role of developers is not without challenges and controversies. One major debate revolves around the ethical responsibility that developers hold, especially when their creations have unintended negative consequences. There's also the concern of algorithmic bias, where decisions made during development inadvertently perpetuate inequality and discrimination, reflecting the biases of the creators. Additionally, some argue about the loss of personal agency, where user autonomy is overshadowed by predetermined digital paths. The role of developers is intricately linked to the larger discussion of fate versus free will in a digital age. As these individuals design the parameters within which digital interactions occur, they indirectly determine the extent to which users can exercise free will. This intersection of destiny and digital design is central to understanding modern existence in a technologically driven world. It's a reminder of the power held by those who code our future and the responsibility that accompanies such influence. In the discussion of destiny or developer decisions, fates in a programmed existence, we dive into the compelling intersection of human agency and the predetermined pathways dictated by technology. The core concept revolves around the philosophical and practical perspectives of whether our futures are firmly charted by invisible lines of code, or if we maintain the autonomy to shape our destinies, despite the pervasive influence of software developers. This concept is crucial because it underpins how we perceive free will in an era where algorithms predict, suggest, and sometimes even dictate human behavior. The significance of this point is underscored through its relevance to everyday life and broader societal implications. For instance, consider social media algorithms that curate content online. Users often find their thoughts and interests shaped by the content that platforms predict is suitable for them, raising the question of whether their online persona is self-crafted or a result of the developer's design. Similarly, algorithmic trading in financial markets showcases how software can make decisions impacting real-world economies faster than any human can, suggesting a form of predetermination in market dynamics. Supporters of the idea that our lives might be more programmed than self-directed highlight how algorithms can optimize efficiency, enhance convenience, and potentially lead to better decision-making. However, new challenges and controversies arise, such as the potential erosion of privacy, the reduction of individual choice, and the ethical implications of humans increasingly relying on or being directed by software. Critics, including proponents of free will and individual autonomy, argue that while technology influences our decisions, it does not fully control them. They advocate for maintaining human oversight and ensuring that algorithms remain tools that serve humanity, rather than dictate to it. Furthermore, concerns about bias in programming and the lack of transparency in algorithmic decision-making processes add layers of complexity to this discourse. This discussion ties into the broader topic by questioning the essence of free will in the digital age. It challenges us to consider how much control we genuinely have over our choices and the extent to which our paths are carved out by digital infrastructures built by developers. As we integrate technology further into the fabric of society, the dichotomy between destiny and decision-making will remain an essential conversation, affecting social structures, legal systems, and personal identities. In essence, as we navigate the future, balancing human intent with algorithmic influence will be pivotal in shaping a world that recognizes both destiny and developer decisions.